So now we're going to go into part 2, which is tainted food. And so our many inventions of the cultural development have altered the face of the planet on which we live, and not always for better. Refrigeration and improved methods of sanitation and hygiene have aided us greatly in keeping food fresh and wholesome. At the same time, advances in other areas of food technology have devastated the effects. In our pursuit for more, bigger, better, faster foods, we have ruined our environment and seriously jeopardized our food. Chemical-based, energy-intense, high-tech foods production methods have polluted our soil, water, and air, and have lowered the quality of our food we eat, and have imperiled our health. I don't think it was, well, my doctor and I talked, and I don't think, well, my doctor and I talked, and she said that it wasn't food or anything that did it to me. It was me taking over-the-counter medication, but because my body was pretty healthy, because I just had a physical, and she was saying to me that, but she said that over-the-counter medication has devastating effects on people. But anyway, chemical-based, energy-intense, high-tech food productions and methods have polluted the soil and the air and our environment. The four primary factors that have contributed to the deterioration of our food and the environment in which it is produced are chemical, agricultural, drugs and livestock, and food processing, and chemical food additives. Chemical agriculture became more widely practiced after World War II, when the post-Civil War chemical industry decided that food production was an excellent field in which to earn peacetime dollars. Agricultural chemicals, including fertilizer and pesticides, were created to increase the fertility of the soil and reduce destruction of crops by insects, rodents, fungi, and other pests. Today, farmers in the United States spend more than $8 billion annually on fertilizer and apply some 26 billion pounds of pesticides to the crop. So if you're looking at this book was written in, or published in, let's see. I want to say it was published. Does it say? Come on. This book was published in, come on, tell us the date, 1991. That's when this was published. All right, so that was 1991. Now, fast forwarded to the year 2011. You can imagine what they're spending on pesticides. The heavy use of toxic agrochemicals has destroyed and critically important microbial life in the soil. As a result, much of the topsoil in the United States and now under cultivation is brittle, dusty, blowing away at an alarming rate, and many orogenists say that we are headed for another dust bowl in several of the major agricultural states. This soil, water and air and agricultural areas are heavily polluted with chemical residue that kills wildlife. Cancer rates among farm workers are inordinately high due to exposure to carcinogens, agriculture, and chemicals. Meanwhile, pesticides residue in food crops increase the probable risk of cancer and other serious degenerative disorders among the general public. Ironically, however, our chemical-saturated farmland is no more productive than if we were cultivating organically. Without the use of agrochemicals in 1989, the National Academy of Science released a report on a 5-year study that analyzed farming methods. The report, entitled Alternative Agriculture, and stated that farmers who apply little or no chemicals to the crops achieve as high as a production level as those who use synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. Pest damage is not controlled any better with pesticides than natural sustainable method. The Academy recommended that the government farm program turn their attention from the chemical-dependent production toward the promotion of natural farming techniques. Clearly, chemical agriculture is a failed system in production. So we're going to go into drug-dependent animals. And that's why some of our chickens, and you know what, you notice things like chickens and turkeys and other things are so big and so fat and and whatever, and you're not used to, what was it I saw the other day, and I was like, that's odd. I forgot what type of meat I saw. I was in the market the other day, and I was saying that's an odd size, and it was like this really humongous size and it was but I forget what it was, and I was like, that's too big to even be that. But it be that as it may, it was, from that production. And I'm saying, this is just too much. But I'm going to tell you about the other part about that was now the drug-dependent animal production is a major part, and I'm telling you this because I can say it. But if you can have a book to reference to and go and get the book and read it, or go online and read it, it's so much better. And I'm going to start to bring you different things online, as I cook and whatever, because we have to know this. Drug-dependent animal production is a major part of the chemical farming industry. Most livestock today are raised according to factory farming methods in crowded living conditions. Animals are subject to heavy dietary intake of antibiotics and implants of anabolic steroids or growth hormones, residuals of which can remain in meat. The annual use of more than 8 million pounds of antibiotics and livestock feed breeds of antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. These bacteria are major causes of food poisoning in humans, resulting in serious illness or death. Food and Drug Administration's microbiologists estimate that food-borne bacteria accounts for approximately 75 million cases of illness in the United States. Meat from animals raised with growth hormones is banned for import by the European Economic Community and many other nations. Factory farming of livestock develops millions of pounds of animal-based food products to market every day and is an extremely energy-intensive industry. The production of animal foods consumes a disproportionately high amount of plant energy. 16 pounds of grain is required to produce 1 pound of beef. 1 pound of beef can feed 3 people for 1 meal. 16 pounds of grain can feed 20 people for 3 meals. The National Academy of Science found that drug-dependent animal farming methods are no more productive than natural ones. So, tomorrow we'll get into modern food processing and diet and nutrition and carbohydrates. But, in reading all of that and studying all of that, I find that it is just so much better to eat naturally grown food and organic food without all the pesticides. And like I said before, your kids are the ones who are organic, ick. And they really don't know, and we need to sell them on this so that they'll be a healthier society. Because, come on, face it, we're not going anywhere. And I'll do a few cans and things along with it to let you know, probably tomorrow. I'm just thinking that, it's a shame that when I was a young girl, most everything that we had was cooked from scratch, because we had I think we had 6 cereals. 6 cereals that were grown, were bought up. Well, the A&P, first of all, was about the size of, if not smaller than, what you might call a Store 24 or a Wawa's or a 7-Eleven. So, having said that, we had maybe a row of about a shelf of cereal that was, I think, cornflakes, Wheaties, Wheat Chex, I think. I'm not sure about Frosted Flakes. 6 or 7 cereals. Wasn't a whole lot of stuff. And then little by little, as I got older, and then I had kids, and then I had grandchildren, and now I even have a great-granddaughter, the food progressed to, we were walking down a whole aisle of cereal. And it amazes me. Okay, now they're actually going back into whole grains and things like that. But it was like sugar, which is a whole other topic. A whole other topic. But sugar in and of itself was absolutely white sugar. Not good. I mean, not when you've got agaves and other things. And we just went to a lecture here Saturday, and I had learned, and I knew about coconut oil, but I had learned a whole lot about coconut oil. And we'll be talking about coconut oil and flaxseed and other things because, this is about becoming healthy. So having said that, I'm going to end this segment. I'm going to come back and talk about some more whole foods and the Whole Food Bible. And I wish you good eating and good health.